welcome. My name is Crystal, and if you're new to my channel, here I discuss indie romance books that I read on Kindle Unlimited or just in my Kindle in general. And today I am going to discuss my top favorite reads of 2024. I have read 242 books, and it is the second to last day of the year, and I don't think we're gonna get any more because I'm not reading anymore. So let's get right into it. So I'm gonna probably start from most recent to like all the way up ahead. Seeing Red and Just Right. Just Right is book one. They're both black romances, and they are Polly Why Choose. Just Right is MMFM, Goldilocks inspired, and Seeing Red is MFM turned into MMF, and that one is By Awaken, kind of hurt comfort, love after loss. These are technically in the same series, but they're standalones, so you can read whichever one you want. Book one is definitely number one to me, and then book two is definitely book two. To Marriage Hex by Sarah Blue. This is paranormal, arranged, forced magical marriage, childhood friends to enemies to lovers. They have to like try to figure out a way to get out of this marriage that was created by a hex that the witch, because it's witch and shifter, she unknowingly created when she was 14. So good. Strikeout by Millie Perez. This is a single dad nanny but sports romance. Both characters are BIPOC. Mateo is a Puerto Rican baseball player and Isabella is Dominican, and she is coming off of a bad breakup with another baseball player. But Mateo, that man is chef's kiss, okay? That's a man. The sports romance, single dad nanny, forced proximity. He's kind of always had feelings for her in a way, or he's been attracted to her if she's a family friend. Perfect. Right? It's a little thick, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little thick, but I think it's worth it. Another sports and another baseball romance actually, and another purple cover. Play Along by Liz Tomforde. Accidental Vegas marriage, and he's always been like infatuated or pining for her, and she just got out of a bad engagement. She just ended her engagement, I want to say about 8 months prior to this like book starting, or at least like after the prologue. Isaiah thinks, he's like, this is now my chance. They have to keep up the ruse because they don't want her to lose her job. As long as they're married, she will not lose her job. Next three are part of a 7-book series. These are not on Kindle Unlimited, so you have to like actually buy the books, or you can go to the author's website and buy it from them. It's cheaper that way if you do it that way. But these three follow adopted brothers who are considered psychopaths, but they are turned vigilantes. They are billionaires because they were adopted by a billionaire. Book one, which is Unhinged. Book three, which is Moonstruck. And book five, which is Madman. Ironically, these are all odd books, or odd number books. All three of these are my favorite in this entire series. And again, it all follows psychopath brothers who basically, after researching, they get rid of people. They are serial killers. So yeah. On the Line by Naomi Loud. This is a contemporary line cook, waitress romance. She is a rich girl that is like cutting off ties with her rich kind of family and her awful ex. From the first meeting, he's kind of like, hey, there is some use of food here as foreplay, I'm not gonna lie, and some actual use of food injected into something. Yeah, if you want like blue collar, he's not a billionaire, he's not swimming in dough, but he's like all about her. Then next, from the same author, Dance Macabre. This is a completely like opposite direction. This author is mainly known for dark romance, and this is kind of in her dark romance field. I would say this, I haven't read the other ones in their catalog, and I probably will. And I actually got to meet them this year in Scotland. They are amazing. It has a little bit of magical realism in terms of them serving like actual gods, but it's clear enemies to lovers, morally black FMC and morally black MMC have to rule together, and you see how that goes. They're supposed to be like mortal enemies, but something happens where they fall in love. Fair Catch by Ricci. This one is a roommates to lovers kind of situation. It's also like a teach me coaching, spicy scene coaching, stuff like that. That is male loving male. There is demisexual representation, which I really loved because that's what I identify as. So I thought it was like pretty closely realistic and closely resembles how I feel when it comes to relationships. Road Secrets by Ashley James. This is book 2 in the series. Small town rancher cowboy type. Opposites attract. One's a city guy, one's a cowboy. He's a bronc rider. Coop. And Xander is in town to help his aunts, or is it great aunt? One of those two. Around her ranch. Opposites attract, city boy, country boy, or small town boy. Friends to lovers, bi awakening, or pansexual awakening, because Coop has always pretty much identified as straight, but once he meets Xander, he's like, hey.
Hey, what is up, my guy?
Why can't I stay away from you? Another male-loving male is the hookup mix-up. This is by Hart. This is kind of in a college book setting. One of them actually thinks the other one is like wanting to hook up when the other one is just like very overly friendly. They spark up a friendship, but then the other party that was like not really interested becomes interested. Super low angst. I'm currently still going through Hart's backlist, but then they create more, so this is a perfect author for you if you want like kind of like sometimes low angst, but then other times it's a little angsty, but it's no real, a lot of the times there's no real breakup, at least the ones I've found so far. And if there is, like a really short separation, so because long separations give me like Secret Service by Bauer. Now this one is told in like two different POVs, so to speak. One is in like a current timeline where the president, because it's a Secret Service agent, or the head of the Secret Service agent and the president of the United States, they're in a relationship. So the current timeline is the president is missing and he needs to find out where he's at. But like obviously with like government stuff, it's all like kind of like a conspiracy. And then it goes into a flashback period at times where you find out how they became involved with each other and like how they develop feelings. The Secret Service agent, he at first identified as straight, but like as he spent more time with the president, who is gay but is in the closet because he's the president of the United States, he's like, no one's going to accept a gay president. And they fall in love, and it's so cute. Honestly, this book could have probably been a Netflix series. I'm not gonna lie. And I usually don't do too much suspenseful stuff, but I was invested from the moment. The first like chapter where I was like, the president is missing? Where's he at? Where's Molly by H.D. Carlton? This is a kind of like a little bit of a spin-off novella from Haunting and Hunting Adeline. Now I know those books are controversial, but this Molly is a character that is talked about in Hunting Adeline, where Adeline is reading a diary of this girl Molly. When it ends, it's basically like no one has any idea if Molly was able to escape. Her last entry into that diary was basically like she's gonna leave, like she's gonna make a run for it. So you don't know if she actually made it. She made it, and she has her own book. She is on a pig farm, and she helps a society get rid of like kind of like the bad of the bad. Gage is someone who helped her get a new identity, which she left, and they had a one-night stand. She's back in town. He discovers, or not, she's back in town, but he discovers that she's back. At first he's pissed because he's like, I helped you get away. But then now he's like, actually, I want to make you mine. Yeah. And then there is a cameo from Zayd and Addie in the back if you finish all the way. Daddy's Little Streamer. This is by K.L. Mann. This is another male-loving male. It's a novella. It's like under 100 pages. I think it's like 75 pages if I'm remembering correctly. One of the characters, he's a streamer, and he's been kind of obsessed with his landlord's brother who comes in and helps with things around the house, or apartment, should I say. And he discovers the streamer's stream and discovers that the streamer is like very, very much attracted to him. And a little whirlwind novella. MotherPucker. This is book 3 in the Mom-Com series, where it follows 4 friends who live in a brownstone together and raise their children together. They're all single moms, and they individually fall in love with someone that's kind of well off. Like the first book is a billionaire, second book is a baseball player, star baseball player. In MotherPucker, this is a older woman, younger man, because I don't like the term reverse age gap. It's an older woman and a younger man. She's a single mom. She had lost her husband to cancer, so she's very, very like health conscious. Is kind of like the stick in the mud mom, but it's more out of fear of like losing the people around her that she's like that way. And the hockey player is like complete opposite, and it brings kind of like enjoyment and spontaneity to her life. All I've Wanted, All I've Needed by A.E. Valdez. I started reading A.E. this year, and honestly, I don't know why I've been waiting for so long, or I've never done it before. This is definitely an author I think that's going to be probably a one-click author. I do have a few more that I've read, and I still have a few more that I want to read. I know this is like her shorter book. A lot of them are chunkier than this. This is Friends to Lovers. Kind of, she moves across the country to reinvent herself or refine herself after breaking off her long-time relationship, almost engagement, because he proposes, and that's when she's like snaps out of it. It's like, I cannot be in this relationship anymore. So she leaves, moves to like the West Coast, I think it was, starts working, helping her uncle in his coffee shop, sparks up a friendship with this mom of twins, I believe, and it's her hot brother who's a tattoo artist that works down the street from the coffee shop. It's a little bit of a meet cute where he's a little bit of a D-bag, but he kind of redeems himself. And then he really redeems himself. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Cupid by Sarah Blue. This is perfect for Valentine's Day, which is right around the corner. The end of the year. And this features a Cupid down on her luck, wanting kind of revenge, and a Grim Reaper. She wants revenge on her ex because he is a and leaves her for someone else. And she's like, It's really spicy, smutty time. 106 pages. You can get it done really fast. It's part of a whole series, but this is book 1. Of Salvation by Maravilla. This is a special edition that I have, and this features, it's more like a friends to lovers. He's the enforcer in a motorcycle club. She is an exotic dancer, but she's also out on a run, and her past is catching up to her. And he's like, I'm going to try to keep you safe. They have been dancing around each other, and they do have like a one-night stand, which they're both commitment phobes, so they're kind of like, that's it, but they cannot stay away from each other. They're very attracted to each other. It's a fun time. Loving the Legend by Kit Gray. This is their debut novel, and it is also male loving male. It's secret relationship, kind of strangers, friends to lovers. They are both basketball players, so it is sports romance. It's a little chunky though, so it deals with grief, there's mental health rep, and it is one POV. I know some people are like, oh my god, you read something that's one POV. It is one POV. I usually don't like one POV, but this was perfect. You could tell how Sid was feeling even without having his POV. So that's why I was like, this is fine. It's fine. You can feel the connection from like the moment they meet. You know what I'm saying? I love this so much that I got 2 copies of it. I got this copy and the author website, because this is the one you can get on Amazon, and then the other one that's the mail cover, you can only get that on the author's website. This is number 2, right? Like if this is number 2, then this is gonna be number 1. Say I Do by Brea, Alepoú, and Skyler Snow. This is book 3 in the Vitalis brother series, and this features the oldest brother, who is the mob boss, who is in charge of everyone. He has to get into an arranged marriage for a truce kind of alliance. There's a switcheroo where he thinks he's marrying a woman. He ends up actually marrying her twin brother for reasons. It is enemies to lovers. They are fighting their feelings. Benito's also like, I'm not gay, but he actually had a ex-boyfriend, so how does that happen, sir? Anyways, so I guess you could kind of say it's a little bit of a bi-awakening, but even though he was awoke, he just went back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So they really don't like each other, and they try to battle each other out from the beginning, but then they start becoming possessive of each other, do not want other people touching them, none of that. And then Harlow, he is like unhinged and bloodthirsty, and I love that, okay? Benito's like trying to be calm, cool, and collected, but that's not gonna happen with a husband like Harlow around. Sorry. Anyways, the entire series is perfect, but this is definitely going to be number 1 for me. I love enemies to lovers, where the enemies part still lasts a little bit longer, even when they're trying to fight their attraction to each other. I love when they, try to fight it, and then they can't fight it anymore, and then they're like, actually, that's my man. Like, I think Harlow does say that. He's like, that demon is mine. It's purely human, but that's what he calls him. That's what he considers him. That is my list for 2024. If you watched the entire thing, thank you so much. I hope your 2024 was absolutely fabulous in terms of reading, if you did. And if you're not a reader and you just watched this for the hell of it, I hope your 2024 was great nonetheless. And I wish you guys a happy, healthy, and thriving 2025. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.